which candidates to include in presidential primary debates is a perennial issue for the media, but we have never quite seen anything like this.
With a Democratic field literally overflowing with candidates, NBC decided that 20 should be included in the first 2020 primary debates.
The Democratic candidates debate.
And unwieldy it was. NBC said it had little choice but to divide the candidates over 2 nights.
Tonight, round 1. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. Former Housing Secretary Julian Castro. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Former Maryland Congressman John Delaney. Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard.
But wait, there's more.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. Former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke. Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan. And Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
With 10 candidates sharing the stage, they each ended up with only a handful of minutes to say anything. And good luck keeping track of who was who.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan?
Okay, but if you think there's a better way to run a debate, please raise your hand.
I mean, I have to say, I don't know, John. I was watching with what do you call it, the TTY, the closed caption.
Yeah.
Because I was at my tennis club.
Right.
We noticed that they didn't have the names under the person.
Oh
they only just flashed it up for a second. People were all around me going, "Who is that? What is that? Who is that?" So, I don't know. I mean, I think they should have done it in smaller groups, maybe groups of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But we'd still be having them. We'd still be going on night after night.
They did key it sometimes.
Sometimes.
But not every time.
They should have
You're
left
right.
it up the whole time.
Did I hear you? Did I mishear? Did I hear you say that NBC decided on the size of these because it was
they did it on polling.
It was the DNC
was it?
rules, and that speaks to a problem here.
Mm-hmm.
When you outsource control as a media organization to someone else, a political or party or anyone else, I think that's a big mistake because this is what
well,
you
they
get.
still could have included whoever they wanted.
As a private news organization, they could have included anyone they wanted. They could have, since it's cable TV and they have endless time, they could have broken it up into 5 candidates a night over 4 nights. Half those candidates shouldn't have even been there.
Really?
And it interfered with the understanding, even though there certainly were newsworthy moments in both debates, it really interfered, I think, with the value of it.
Well, the problem was the candidates all had a personal job to do, which was to get particularly the lesser known ones, which was to get recognition. And the first night, Julian Castro, I think, did the best of the kind of lesser known candidates. And then the second night, everyone had been watching the first night and said, okay, now I got to jump in and interrupt and yell. And so by the second night, it was just grueling. You know, you had Marianne Williamson floating from a balloon on one side of the stage, and on the other side, someone kind of yelling slogans, and it devolved into something that was much less useful than it could have been.
And also, I think that the big moment from these 2 debates that everyone will remember, where Kamala Harris went after Joe Biden and his record when it comes to race, that was a moment because the moderators deviated from the format. She did not, she went way over her time limit, and she picked the perfect time. Yes,
and they let her do
by
it.
the way, I'm thrilled they did let her do it. But had they, said, please only 1 or 2 or 3 word answers, like my man Chuck Todd kept saying last night, we wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah.
So.
And she brought the subject up. She said, I want to talk about race. Yeah. So they were not coming to her with a question, and I'm the only black person on the stage. And everybody paused. And then she went in.
She had the best line about the food fight, too.
Yeah,
you're right. They
broke
they allowed her to break the rules, but most of the time the moderators were yelling at the candidates, too, and just yelling over
What's
them.
What's the most ambitious foreign policy challenge you'll tackle in your first 100 days? 1 word answer, please, right? That's, again.
And please, no more live audiences. Their noise
just
chews
I would
up time.
say that. I would agree
Worthless.
with that. Yeah. You know what? Somebody wrote, and this is a very simple low-tech solution, why didn't they put their names on cards in front of the podiums?
Yeah.
So that as they're talking, even if they're not putting it up on the screen, you could read it and say, oh, yeah, okay, that's Inslee. Oh, yeah, that's...
Good idea.
Yeah, it's low-tech.
Or make them wear hats with their names on.
Pins.
Tags. Hello, my name is.
Okay.